So I'm not really familiar with the new models of film financing, VOD, and all these strength and the future of financing and exploitation of films. Can you tell me a little bit more about this?
Wow. Okay.
Just a little bit.
So for such a broad subject and everything, but it's well, maybe just to give a bit of context into where we fit into all of this. Under the Milky Way, we're digital distributors mostly. So we get involved on films once they have been financed, shot, and distributed, and we provide a link between rights holders and VOD platforms, and we put the films online, which generate revenues that we bring back to the rights holders from a transactional VOD point of view. In comes the subscription-based models, so Netflix, as you mentioned, among others, but mostly Netflix. At least at our level, we're seeing that it changes the landscape. Meaning that a few years back, we were selling content to Netflix as they wanted to have more films for their catalogs in various countries. And progressively, it's becoming harder and harder to sell to them. As we are at the very end of the value chain. So if we have films that they're looking at to buy, it means that they haven't done their job properly upstream. Meaning that the distributor before us would have pitched the film to Netflix for them to buy, and the sales agent, and most probably the producer. And what I think everybody's discussing and I've been noticing is that Netflix is working increasingly with producers directly. I mean, these things are changing and so forth. And the way films are being financed, I think you're probably in a much better position than I am, you being a producer.
Not yet.
But you've been producing for so many years and you've produced so many films.
In an old style.
In an old style, but still the style that has been the traditional way of producing movies up until this date, today. And the new way of producing films is only starting. So you're not late to the party.
I tell you, I was told 2 weeks ago by a friend of mine, a producer based in Berlin, and he received an 8-page synopsis from a writer, and she presented these 8 pages to Netflix, and they told her to find a production company. So she got in touch with him, asking him, would you like to produce this for Netflix? And this is brand new, and he was smashed about such a direct form. You know? We are gonna acquire your idea if you will find the right production company, and we are gonna negotiate what we are coming up to finance the project. And this is a brand new model.
Absolutely.
And for the public broadcasting system in Europe, it's going to get a hard time.
Oh yeah.
That's for sure.
But the position of public broadcasters or and private broadcasting groups in Europe, free TV or pay TV, I think is very fragile at the moment. And as time goes by, it will become even more fragile, given the fact that they all operate on one country. Very few of them cross borders. So they don't have the same firepower as an Amazon or a Netflix or an Apple has in terms of subscription base and means in order to invest into content. Free air broadcasters rely on publicity that's also migrating online or on Facebook or in other forms of announcement and so forth. So they're all in very fragile positions themselves.
About this with cinema, we are cinema lovers, and to marry with somebody else who is not original, coming from a cinema system or are not cinema lovers. This is also a question.
But then again, think of it this way. Like I grew up as a music lover as well, but I used to listen to audio tapes, and I would make my own mixes on audio tapes and like copy and so forth, and then CDs came along, and I still was a music lover when the CD came about, and today I have Apple Music that streams, and I'm still a music lover in that environment as well. And I think for cinema, it's the same thing. The love of the content, whatever the format, I'll still find that content that moves me, that comes and gets me in different ways and so forth. And I'm actually quite optimistic about the quality of the content to come. I'm pretty sure that the digital world will unleash creative forces around the world, and
super.
I'm looking forward to that. But I'm also attached to the traditional way of watching a movie in a cinema with people, to have it as a collective experience. And I don't think that will go away in any way, or I hope that it won't. And I certainly hope that it won't.